I would like you to speak from your heart and speak from your pain. So we might consider this when a patient says something like, there is a deep grief within me. Can you move over to this chair, move over on the couch and go into your grief, go into your sorrow, go into this emotional state. A very kind of Gestalt way of working. Mm-hmm. Or a patient might say, there's a part of me that wants to cut myself as soon as I leave the session. Right? Can you go to this chair? Can you become the part that wants to do the cutting? Can I speak to this part? And this connects us to Gestalt awareness practices and to voice dialogue. Also connects us to the paradoxical theory of change. So this was a theory that was developed by Dr. Arnold Besser in the 1960s. It's kind of a core Gestalt theory. Basically says the way to change is to more deeply be yourself. Giving voice, the heart of the work, nothing else is needed. Dr. Rolla May said, the experiencing of despair may well lead to the deepest insight and the most valuable change. So the idea here is that deeply experiencing and expressing an emotional state in and of itself can lead to change. And I would add, it's not just experiencing it, but it's really amplifying. That's in Gestalt therapy, the chair, we're getting it more intense than it would be just organically. And this has been part of the unique gift of Gestalt therapy to the psychotherapy world, that this is a way for people to transform their lives. So giving voice allows us to amplify and give expression to a feeling. We can interview a part to better understand it. We can empower people to claim personal authority and affirm their decisions, the decisions they're making in their lives. So this is kind of a one chair dialogue, essentially. Go to a chair, express something, feel something. We're not trying to fix it. We're not trying to change it. We're not trying to challenge it. Just kind of experience it. Internal dialogues often involve two chairs, maybe more, but you might say to a patient, you seem to be of two minds about this project. You seem to be conflicted about the project. I wonder if you'd be willing to go to this chair and speak from the part that wants to go forward, and then to this chair and speak from the part that's having second thoughts. Mm-hmm. So we might consider this when a patient says, I'm really conflicted about this situation, right? Yeah. And an inner conflict essentially is a conflict between two values, right? Both things maybe are good, but we're torn between two values. This is what we would call a polarity dialogue. Give voice to each of these sides, see what happens. Pearls believe that actually if you gave voice to different parts and they heard each other, something creative could emerge. Or a patient might say, I have a deep fear of elevators. I'm afraid I'll be trapped in one and die there. Mm-hmm. So here we more have like cognitive distortion, rational response. This would be more of a cognitive restructuring dialogue, like CBT. We call this an alternatives dialogue. You've got the problematic belief, the alternative, and go back and forth between these two perspectives. And the third one is I have this voice in my head that keeps telling me how bad I am. The schema therapy would say this is inner critic, dialoguing with a healthy adult. So here we want to change the balance between the relationship among different parts of the self. And that would be called a mode dialogue, respectively. Another thing we got from Fritz Perls, and he does this relentlessly, is existential language. We want people to say things like, I want, I am deciding to, I am choosing to, I will or I will not do something. We do not want them to say things like, I must, I should, I need to, or I can't. Don't say I must, say I want to, or I'm deciding to, or I'm choosing to, right? Mm-hmm. That's the simple way to go. If that doesn't feel okay for them, probably what it is you have the presence of an inner critic is actually acting on them at that moment. And that would be a moment to say, it sounds like, is there another part here? Let's go to another chair. Let's engage in inner critic dialogue. So the simple way is just to say it differently because people use the language. But if it is really I feel like compelled, then let's see the part that's pushing. And that's where the parts come up. So that's
awesome. Thank you.
So this one I can't. It is virtually never true that a patient can't do something or cannot do something. It may be difficult to do something. It may be arduous to do something. It may be that they secretly don't want to do it. But it is usually almost never true that they can't do it. The more confident you are and the more excited you are about chair work, the less resistance you get.
Wasn't that absolutely fantastic? I'm sure that you found a lot of information in this very short video you just saw, maybe like 4 or 5, 6 minutes, however long it was. But that is not all. You can have access to the entire presentation of this amazing speaker, plus 40 more other presentations and speakers, and you can have access for life. You can have access to the video recording, to the audio recording, to the swipe files, to the transcripts, to all of the bonuses and the special gifts that all of the speakers and presenters and also the organizers are offering in the Premium Pass package. So if you like this, if you want more, make sure to sign up below for the Premium Pass and have lifetime access to everything. I'm sure it'll be one of the best investments you've ever made in your life, in yourself, in your practice, in your health, and also with working with clients. So go ahead, click on the button below, sign up for the Premium Pass, and we'll see you on the other side.